Wait, so I think I was mentioning a couple things in terms of traits that would be positive in the woman. I mentioned being submissive, low body count.
What's a low body count to you?
I mean, it depends on age, you know? So
I guess.
You give them a bit more leeway if they're, you know, they're older, they're a bit younger, and they've got more. But so what was your... the reaction
I was just wondering, like, is that important to you specifically?
To me,
body
it's
count?
important to men.
Being submissive?
Yeah.
Yeah, both are pretty important. Yeah.
A lot of guys won't say it, but it's
For the body count part, why is that? I just want to know.
Why? Oh, there's a couple reasons.
Well, just because...
Go on.
Is it like to be like safe or clean?
What's that?
Is it to be like clean? Like you would prefer someone who is more like conservative with it? Like...
So, I mean, there's a couple
Can
reasons.
I start it? Please?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so first and foremost, I feel like, and again, my views are very old school, but I feel like a woman's body is like, it's women are just different to men, yeah? So I feel like women, because they can get it easier, they shouldn't just give it up to like every kind of dude, you know what I mean? Whereas guys, like it's hard for guys to get sex, so guys have to work for it. It's a lot harder than women.
Really?
Yes.
You think so?
I know so.
Oh, okay.
I know so. But in saying that, I think the body count is very important if you like want to marry a woman. Like, no guy in their right mind would marry a woman that slept with 100 dudes. No guy would.
Yeah,
well,
but at
maybe.
the same time, I feel like guys who just want a low body count just don't fuck good. So they don't want the girl to know.
Yeah, but that's a coke. That's a cop out excuse.
No,
that's a cop out excuse.
Bullshit.
No,
Yeah,
there's lots of guys out there that just don't want that kind of woman. They'll fuck with those kind of girls, but they won't marry them or date them. So it really, like, I don't know any guy. Like, I've got lots of friends that are married. I don't know any one of them that's had a girl that's more than like 30, 40, even that's too high for me, like body count. So body count is important, but guys don't want to talk about it. Yeah. Guys don't want to talk about it because they get like, you know, oh no, you're just saying that because you don't perform good in sex. It's nothing to do with that. Nothing at all. It's literally just like, when I hear like a woman's been with a lot of guys, it's a turn off. You know
so
what
would you marry a girl without fucking her first?
Hell no.
Okay.
I would not. But I would also get to know what her background is and, you know, find out what kind of girl she is, what she's done, who she's been with. And in saying that, like, I'm not completely prudish. Like, I understand, like, you know, people go through relationships, they'll have a one-night stand here and there. But give or take, like, I have my, like, standards and values, and I just like to stick to it, you know? Someone else might be different, and that's their prerogative. It doesn't bother me. But for me, like, I personally couldn't date someone who has more than, like, let's say, like, double digits. To me, it's, like, too much. You know? But
20?
I'm way too much.
Really?
Way too much.
What about when you were saying that you were like a fuck boy back
I'm
in
a
your
guy.
time?
It's completely different.
Oh,
I'm
so
sorry.
you think that you can like fuck whoever you want, but like girls
I'm
can't?
sorry, it's completely different.
It's a
men and
shitty
women,
double
men,
standard, yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It's
It is what it is, yeah.
Look,
Exactly.
I'll say it's a double standard, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, like men can get away with it, and women, unfortunately, they get judged for it. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's just the society we live in. And, you know, I'm just addressing the elephant in the room. No guy would marry a woman that slept with like 100 dudes. No guy would. Find me a guy that would, please.
do you
Unless you're
think
like the guy
about,
from No Jumper.
Beaver.
Who?
Isn't Lana
Right.
Rhodes married? Who? Lana Rhodes. Isn't she married? Yeah,
I
she
think
has
a lot of
baby,
porn
right?
stars are married.
Yeah,
and
but
they've been with
porn
other
stars
people.
normally marry with other people within that industry.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
think.
but I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of
You know
people
what I
out there
mean?
that would marry a porn star.
Obviously, there's always outliers. I'm not
Yeah.
saying there isn't. I'm just saying that a majority of guys aren't fond of the idea of having a partner or a wife who might be the future mother of their children having like 50 cocks inside of her before they met him. That's just what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, anyone, like any guy, please speak up now, guys in the audience, anyone at the back, if I'm saying anything wrong.
Well, the chat master's coming.
And it's also like saying put two men together, put two women together, both the same age, both the same, like, you know, socioeconomic status level, looks, everything. One has a body count of 10, one has a body count of 50. The guy's going to pick the one with 10 every single time. Every single time. Unless they're a porn star.
Yeah.
I've built up more of a body count with my partner than without.
Say again?
So my partner, when I first got with him, I was at, I think 9.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, look, what I say
we
shouldn't
had fun
bother
together.
you and shouldn't trigger you. That's just my thoughts, my views. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, who am I to tell you how to live your life? You can live your life how you want, and you can have your opinions too. That's cool. I respect that. But I'm saying in my eyes, in my world, this is how I think. And I'm also just letting you know, a lot of guys actually do think like this. Like, we really do. But just guys are just too scared to speak up, you know, to challenge the status quo, or just to like, just out of fear of like just being judged. But it is what it is. We genuinely feel that very strongly about it. It's the same way like girls feel like about a guy who's like short. Like, you know, they won't say it, but like fucking girls don't like short guys.
No, we
guys
will
don't
say
like girls that have fucked like hundreds of dudes. We don't.
And then somebody posed a question just now. I missed it, but
Oh, I was way up to him. I asked
Yeah, I
him
think
about
so.
like when he previously said that he was like a fuck boy.
Oh.
Like,
And
does
I
it
told you
relate?
that men and women are different. We're not built
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
Men are made to spread their seed. Biologically, this has been proven by science that men, like especially back in the prehistoric era, Neanderthals, all that shit, men were spreading their seed. Women were the bearers. They carried the child for 9 months. That looked after the child. Nothing's changed. The only thing that's changed is society has tried to like shame men for basically like sleeping around, and it's like, you know, and with this whole wave of feminism, it's trying to equalize things. But because that's happened, it's like it's been tilted a little bit more in the women's favor. But go 100 years ago, back to like our mums and our mums' mums, they were way less promiscuous than the women of today.
Well, there's technology now to ensure that those things don't happen, like birth control and stuff. So I feel like
But
as
we're not talking about like
technologies get better,
It's
but
also
we're not,
100 years
we're not
ago,
talking
though.
about
Things
being
change.
like, we're not talking about being pregnant and falling pregnant. We're just like, what we're trying to say is like, you know, just
but that's
preferences.
The reason, though. The reason is because, you know, women can get pregnant, and so you're supposed to have a low body count because you're negating that from happening. But now that we're evolving as a species, we're being able to become more equal because we're able to control ourselves.
Yeah. Birth control?
Yeah.
How long does evolution typically take? You think it takes 40 years?
Well, I
Millions,
feel like
millions
we've
of
definitely
years.
changed as a
50,
society
60
within like the
millions,
last
millions of
10,000 years.
Yeah, but it doesn't unwind. So men have a sort of almost evolutionary revulsion to promiscuity in women. That women can have an intellectual disgust for promiscuity in men. And actually there is an evolutionary basis in women having a disgust in it for men too, but it's not as substantial, and it's for a
Correct,
different
yeah.
reason.
Lots of
So-
women could be disgusted by a high body
Yeah,
count,
so for
but
example,
it's
like
nowhere near as common.
one of the evolutionary reasons a woman might be disgusted by a promiscuous man is that it comes down to, and it's sort of similar but different, so it comes down to parental, what's the term? Like if a man's promiscuous, he's less likely to
be a
stick
parent.
around.
Yeah.
So like women are going to look at that on an evolutionary component and be like, well, if I have a child with you, if you get me pregnant, are you going to actually have the resources to be able to support the family, et cetera, et cetera? Whereas for men, the difference is a bit reason. It comes down to paternity uncertainty. So if the woman's
You don't know if it's your
promiscuous,
kid.
there's no way for us to.
But we got rid of that now. So
How?
like by having birth control, it's a less
What do you-
likely chance of that happening.
Right, but okay, so it doesn't undo hundreds of thousands of years of evolution, a modern invention from, the 60s or DNA test in
No,
the 80s.
I get that, but I feel like things are going that way. Things are going into that direction.
Right, but just because we have changed doesn't mean that it doesn't undo the evolution that's already occurred that gives men that evolutionary basis for having like a disgust response to promiscuity
No,
in women.
I agree with that. I agree that there's a disgust response, but I'm saying that I feel like a
mean,
lot of other men.
Would you agree that? Do you feel like a lot of guys genuinely feel like that? Like honestly, I'm asking all you girls. Do you feel like guys don't really care about body count, or do you think they somewhat do? I'm
do.
curious.
No,
They
it's
do.
true. They definitely
Like all
do.
jokes aside and all bullshit aside, do you think they care?
Yeah,
Yes.
they
Yeah.
do.
Like how many times have you girls been questioned by boyfriends or partners or lovers? Or how many guys have you been with? How many guys have you slept with? You know,
My current boyfriend, no, he doesn't really
you're
care.
still super young. When you get a bit older,
Yeah, I feel.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree
you know
with
what I
that.
mean? It's like at 18, like what do you expect? Oh, I've been with 100 guys.
Yeah,
It's like,
no.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah,
like
at that age, they could have like
That-
a body count that's
Yeah.
objective,
extremely rare.
but it's much more rare. So like at that age, most guys are not going to.
Correct. I mean, when I was 18, I wasn't asking my 18-year-old girlfriends, what's your body
I
count?
feel like most guys ask now.
Yeah.
Thanks to this
They're
podcast.
very, yeah. I know. Yeah, guys always ask now.
Brian fighting the good fight.
Yeah,
I think nowadays it's kind of a key question
But
to
actually,
ask.
I
Yeah,
want
see,
to.
there you go. Key question.
I do actually want to go back to something that kind of a bit of a back and forth that you two were having. So, Chesbra, you were saying how you were a fuckboy when you were younger,
Yes.
you were promiscuous when you were younger.
Yes.
I mean, I was actually, and you were saying how men and women are different.
Correct.
And so I actually don't see anything wrong though. So let's say he slept with 100+ women, and then after doing so, he determines, well, actually, I think a woman with a low body count is actually more optimal when it comes to being in a relationship with. I actually don't see anything wrong with that, and I actually don't think it's hypocritical at all. You might not like it, but I don't think it's actually hypocritical.
I think it's just preference-wise, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's hypocritical at
Okay.
all. I don't care
Okay,
about
sure.
any of that. I do not care about body counts with my partner. I'm not gonna, like, if they have a lot, I'm not gonna shame them for it.
Sure.
And if they have, like, little, it's like, okay. Like, I don't really
mean,
care. Like, you are who you are. Everyone
that's
before.
that's your prerogative, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like each and every one of us are different, but I think what Brian is trying to say is that like it puts me in a position that I can see a little bit more clearly what would be good for me and what wouldn't be good for
Yeah.
me
That's
because
your
I've
traits.
experienced like the spectrum, you
Yeah.
know. So I've been with like girls that are like a little bit out there, and I've been with like more like I guess you could say like more introverted girls, and I know end of the day because I've lived that kind of life, I can't be with someone who's also lived that kind of life because
Yeah.
that'd be just too much like.
That's just
friction.
your traits. So I
You know
get
what I
that.
mean? Yeah.
That's fair.
Did anybody else have anything on the body count convo?
I mean, not really, but how is it like you get to try, like, if you were to get with 100 girls and, like, you just then realize after 100 girls, like, you don't want that, like, how is it fair to put that on another girl saying, like, they can't have the same opportunity to experience 100 guys?
It's not fair, but it's just reality. It's a double standard, and it's one that exists. It's one that we try to shy away from. It's like the elephant in the room that no one really wants to address. I didn't say it's fair. I didn't say it's just. It's just the reality. The reality is a guy can get away with it and be called a stud or a this or that. And if a girl does it, guys are like, ugh, you've been with 100 men. Like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
I'm not just saying this because like it's what I believe. It's what a lot of men believe. It's what society tells us. It's just the way things are. It's just the same way saying like, it's the same way, like, let me put it in terms. It's like the same way you can say, like, a man can get raped by a woman. A man can't get raped. Like, you know what I mean? But a woman can get raped.
Wait.
I could say grape.
Yeah, he could. I mean, he
Grapes.
could.
You know grapes, lemons?
No, but I'm saying
Talking
like,
about fruit.
I think a dude
You know?
can get graped.
Yeah,
Extremely
he could.
rare and very
What if it's by
unlikely.
another dude?
Then he can.
He can get graped.
Yeah. Then he definitely could.
Well, I mean, there's like the legal
But you know what I'm
component,
saying?
different
Like-
definitions, and
It's like, and I don't think that would be like, I
As-
don't think that would be like as detrimental to a man than it would be to a woman. 100 more times worse for a woman. 100 more times for a worse for a woman.
Grapes.
Topic.
If you got graped by a woman, would that be a bad thing for you? His smile says it all.
I personally wouldn't want to be graped.
Hang on, you
By-
can
by a
be
woman.
raped on your own. Oh no, that's just essayed on your own
Crickets.
podcast.
Oh, yeah,
what
that was terrifying.
Yeah, that's.
I watched that
only-
episode.
I only got brought to my attention.
Oh, the yeah,
Desiree.
yeah.
Are you
But-
okay?
Huh?
Are you okay?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Incident?
Yeah, no, it was mostly Andrew that got the brunt of it, but I was there. I was
You
there.
got to fill me in after.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll tell you. Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing crazy.
It sounds serious.
Some girl
Metro Matt
assaulted
donated
us.
$200. Can we hear from the girls FFS? This
Oh,
guy won't
shit.
stop yapping. He talks more than my
I
ex.
did say I talk a lot.
Yo, Metro Matt, thank you for the TTS, man. Appreciate
Talking on a
it.
podcast? My
Ah.
God.
How dare you? How dare you talk?
What does
Yeah.
it mean by FFs?
For fuck's sakes.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
FFS.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Metro Matt. So I guess to the body count thing, and just to be clear, like, I actually don't think promiscuity is good in men. I think
thought it was a great
promiscuity
one.
is bad in both. But I do think there is a bit of a differential here. I think women tend to care a bit less about it, or a lot less than men do. They're going to be probably a bit more forgiving than a man who has a promiscuous past than the reverse. Also, typically a man who has the capacity to be promiscuous and who was promiscuous tends to lean more towards being like very attractive, whether that's looks or personality, whereas any woman has the capacity to be promiscuous regardless of her awful personality or her subpar looks. I don't know if any of you want to bite on that one, but pretty much any woman.
Is it because men fuck whatever they want? Or they'll fuck anything?
Yeah.
They really will.
I mean, if women
I
put it out
suppose,
there pretty
yes.
easily.
I suppose yes, but I guess the point I'm trying to make here is that pretty much any woman, if she was inclined to, could be promiscuous. She could sleep with 100+ men. Any
So
single
is that
woman.
bad on like the
Any
guy's part or the girl's part?
Yeah,
What's
but
that?
go ahead.
like,
Sorry, go ahead.
Like, wouldn't that be
Who's-
kind of like bad on like a guy's part if you're saying they
Shouldn't
would
you
just
have
like
standards?
sleep with?
Yeah.
Like, how is it the?
Well, I don't think it's neither good nor bad. It just kind of is what it is. But I'm not really trying to make a value judgment. I'm just trying to kind of describe what is. So any single woman, every single woman here at this table, if you guys were so inclined, you could go sleep with 100 men in the next year very easily. I can't say that's about men, though. I can't say that the majority of men, or even a minority of men, could go ahead and sleep with 100 women in a year, even if they were to reduce their standards substantially, because most men are just invisible to most women, and most men don't have game like that. They don't have Riz. So, what?
I just don't like that word.
Riz?
No.
It was icky.
It was icky.
It gives you the ick? Okay,
Yeah.
what do you prefer?
It's not giving.
I don't know. Just don't
Game?
say that.
Okay.
No.
Don't say
I
Riz?
Don't know. I don't like that.
I mean, that's a common parlance of,
now it is.
of you
We
Gen
didn't say
Z,
this like a
you
year
Gen
ago.
It's the Riz.
Gen Z people.
Yeah.
I feel like if a woman, let's say, slept with 100 men, a woman can sleep with anybody. So if she has high standards, they're probably 100 really fucking nice looking men. But if a man sleeps with 100 women, women are more likely not to say yes. So maybe they're not like that great. Look, I don't know.
Sure.
So the girls' body count might be higher, but maybe the guys are also more quality too.
I don't know if that's a great argument, though, because then they were probably fucking a bunch of other women, too, and she's been greater likelihood of being exposed to some sort of STD.
Yeah, but if you're safe about it.
What do you mean? You can...
Like getting tested? Yeah.
Like I don't,
Yeah,
I don't
being,
sleep
being
with
tested
any.
doesn't make you
I don't.
safe.
Yeah, I don't sleep with any person unless they've been fully paneled. Like before anything,
You've
fully
never...
paneled.
Really? You've never slept with somebody without there being a test first?
Not when I was like 18, 19, but that's less likely.
Okay. All right. Can I have you just adjust your mic a little bit?
Yeah.
So scoot it this way. Just scoot it. Nope. That way. Yep.
Okay.
There you go. Okay. But body count. I mean, so going back to it really quick, I do think that, and you're welcome to provide disagreement or pushback. I do think if you have two girls, one of them has a high body count, one of them has a low body count, comparable attractiveness, personality, it is suboptimal, I think, from the male perspective to pick the one with the higher body count. I don't know if you have a disagreement there or if you...
No, I'm just curious. Like I'm trying to do your two people, but like what if
You're
the
kind
one
of-
with the other, like with the higher body count has a better personality than the girl with the lower? That's what I'm saying. Like, would you go for higher? Because it's like a girl that like matches your qualities and everything that you like, except for the body count. Would you choose her over the girl who's like boring?
So, like, let's say a girl who has 5 body count, but her personality, I don't want to use boring just because I like that, so I want to be
Okay.
fair. I want to be
She's
charitable.
exciting
She's
and
less of a
fun.
match. She's got a 5 body count, but she's less of a match
For you,
based
yeah.
off my criteria versus a woman with a 50 body count, but she's like very close to, like, in terms of what I'm looking for, just very close match personality wise, maybe even more physically attractive too. I would still take the lower body count.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. 50 is a lot. That's
Okay.
a lot.
That's yeah.
I
That's a
think
lot.
50 is a lot.
50 is a lot. So,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
Wait, I have